here we go again with J. Scott Campbell and people over on Twitter. Now, if you don't know who J. Scott Campbell is, he's actually a pretty well-known comic book artist, mostly known for drawing really cute girls. That's kind of like his thing, to be honest, and I think he owns it because he does a really good job. Here's probably one of his most iconic covers. It's Mary Jane kind of relaxing on the couch while Spider-Man takes off and she's just kind of enjoying her coffee. And you see there's a Daily Bugle paper here, and then there's a picture of Peter and Mary Jane in the background. It's a very, very famous cover. Well, it's pretty well known. I don't know how famous it actually is, but I've always liked this cover. I think it actually would make a pretty cool poster too. But this also gives you an idea of how J. Scott Campbell, actually draws. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. This is, though, what he's known for. Really cute girls. And I would say he's probably one of the few comic book artists that, let's say the comic book industry collapsed tomorrow, right? And it's going to collapse eventually, for sure. He's one of the few that would actually be all right and could go independent and, you know, take his audience and actually still be okay and do like Kickstarters and Indiegogos. Very few can do that. The reason that J. Scott Campbell could do it is because from what I know, he's not like trashing fans all the time and being political. He mostly just likes to talk comics on his Twitter, which is all anybody really asks for. I really don't care what his political beliefs are. As long as he just draws cool shit and is cool to me, I think that's all most people, almost fans ask for, actually. So this is probably his most critiqued artwork, by the way, by the Twitter Puritans and the Tumblrites. And that's where we're going to start. So this is an old post on Tumblr. They got paid for that? I made an attempt at fixing this because it was so bad, lol. It's not perfect, but it's better than it was, so that's all that matters, lol. Just don't look too closely at it. It's fine. And, tag fixing bad comic art since their blog is mainly what inspired me to do this. So they don't like cute girls and decided to make a improvement, as they would say. And what's funny is J. Scott is going to utterly destroy this, and this is where the outrage comes from, is because he clapped back on this. So this one on the right is an improvement to the one on the left. Now, there's actually a lot to unpack here. Now, the one on the left is obviously better. Way, way, way better. A million times better. It's actually well done. Looks good. The one on the right looks like trash. Complete garbage. It's a joke. And it's never going to sell. Like, no one wants this. As J. Scott will point out in his critique, her arm looks like it's Popeye the Sailor Man's arm, which isn't really anything appealing to anyone. She also doesn't look very relaxed anymore. And the shirt looks like a swimsuit. So the other one, of course, you can see cleavage. And she's got a midriff going on because the shirt is low cut. And she actually has a hip. Where in this one, it's very amateurish and you can't really tell if she has any curves or not. It's a terrible fix, but because these people that are trying to do this aren't really good artists, which is a lot of people in the comic book industry itself, it looks like shit. The one on the right, by the way, is also what you see in modern comic books now, as well as bad art. Like, women don't have any curves to them. Showing any of their chest is also forbidden. In fact, in most cases, they don't have anything there. They're always flat. And it's some of the reason why comic books are kind of in the toilet. It's a medium almost predominantly dominated by men. And you don't really try to capture that male gaze anymore. And that helps contribute to lower sales. But we don't need to get too much into that. Let's focus on what J. Scott Campbell did, which is absolutely hilarious. So he went in and he fixed it. So this is him saying, "The fix is in." And what he did was basically fix the fixer's art, which is absolutely hilarious. He's essentially dunking back. What the problem here is, though, you're not allowed to do that, okay? If you're a comic book pro and you do something problematic, you're supposed to immediately drop to your knee, pull out your shoe shine box, and start, kind of washing the shoes of the people that are coming after your art. You also notice that people that are going after J. Scott here all have the same stuff in their profile. They have their disabilities, their pronouns, which way they like to swing, and so on and so on. The typical crowd on Tumblr and Twitter that trashes and destroys the comic book industry, amongst all other forms of entertainment, by the way. But the comic book ones are particularly pretty damn ruthless, and most of the people that have infiltrated the comic book industry are those people, which is one of the reasons why it's being driven into the ground. These people have complete creative control over the comic book industry. So he claps back, and you can go ahead and read some of this right here because it's funny. He goes in and he actually talks some trash back to this person. And, but he says he's trying to be respectful and stuff like that. But that doesn't matter. He's an oppressor. And he wasn't supposed to do that. But here's what here's the Popeyes thing. He calls the shirt a swimsuit because there's no movement to it. So it literally does look like a one-piece bathing suit. He rips on the way the artist fixed her collarbone there. And called her like she's sitting like an obedient puppy and saying, oh, how is like her relaxing on the couch supposed to be actual or something like that? It doesn't make any sense. So he absolutely destroys it, fixes the fixer's artwork, and it looks a lot better. It looks much better. But of course, they're accusing him now of turning what she fixed back into soft porn. Basically, like this original image was too hot for TV or something. What I'd like to point out before we get into some of the people clapping back to him, Neon from Clownfish posted this, showing that, yes, women can look like this. Here's a cosplayer, and this is actually a very famous cosplay, by the way. A lot of attractive women will cosplay in this outfit at cons. You see it constantly. There's always at least four or five women that are dressed like this at cons, and I think it's fine. I think it's just fine. Yeah, but so women can sit like this. This is what a woman looks like. But of course, this is why I call them Twitter Puritans. You're not allowed to have anything on your chest. You're not allowed to have a hip. You're not allowed to show your flat stomach. You're not allowed to show anything unless you weigh about 250 pounds. Then show everything that you want. That's stunning and brave. But if you look like this, you better put a robe on. You better put a robe over that robe, and you better tape everything down because, well, that's not natural. You don't really exist. I guess just existing helps the male gaze or something. I don't know. So naturally, he claps back, and here come the clowns, right? The clowns that come out left and right and start coming after him. So here's some of the comments here, a little bit of the butt hurt. The damn bro, there really is nothing cooler than a professional in their late 40s shaming someone in their teens just for trying to make your hypersexualized art into a view that doesn't make women uncomfortable. You're definitely not just an exist, you're hypersexualizing. He's the one that says sexualizing, by the way. First off, I think one of the reasons that Jay Scott did this is because he's sick of people on Twitter and Tumblr trashing his beautiful art. He's probably disgusted and sick of it, and he decided to clap back and show that person why they're a shitty artist. And I really don't see a problem. In fact, I think it's great. It's nice to see someone actually fight back against the weirdos. The original critique by NB is of the male gaze present in your first illustration. I don't think anyone can question your technical competence, but what's being discussed here are the political implications of your stylistic choice. This isn't a dunk. It's missing the point. This is so sad coming from you, bro. It's just a small Tumblr account, and that and your official art is not above criticism in a professional setting. There's no such thing as fixing art, but there is room for improvements, especially when you draw female characters propped like actual items rather than a character with actual depth. Honestly, I'm thinking I'm about to fix his new version too, if only to tick him off. This Justin, white shish-het man, has never learned what misogyny is. Thinks dunking on teenagers is cool and putting their name in public for his fans to openly go after them is a professional thing to do. Even though he says in there, don't go after anybody. Okay? By the way, this fix in finger quotations of his beautiful artwork has been going around for a while. Okay? And one of the reasons that he's annoyed by it is a lot of his, quote, colleagues and friends and people that he works with are critiquing and talking about it and saying that it's an improvement. J. Scott, they all hate you. Let's be honest. They want to get rid of you and bring in one of their Tumblr buddies to replace you with more god-awful art. I've showcased the god-awful Marvel art plenty of times. It's shit. They're lucky to still have someone like him in the industry. In that, like I said, if he were to go independent and do his own thing, he'd be really, really rich. And I'm sure he's not hurting, but he could quit the comic book industry pretty easily and be just fine. If he made some kind of action book with cute girls, he would be loaded. But for some reason, he decides to stay in a dying industry and keep getting shit on. I don't know why. This guy, I don't even go too much into this, but he has like a 40 thread. He has like a 40 tweet thread on Twitter right now. Talking about how hard it is to be a male feminist ally. It's actually pretty damn funny. So here's some of it. He's trying to, here he is finally like talking to somebody. He's still talking, I think, about this on Twitter. He says, I didn't do it for me. I used a very public and viral meme as a teachable moment for some of the youth out there that no one appreciates this. This isn't a good look. It was what some might call parody or humor to make a bigger point. I'm sorry if that was missed by you. Like, you can't reason with these people, J. Scott, and they're never going to leave you alone until you stop drawing like you do or quit. Okay? And that's just it. Like, you're not welcome in the comic book industry anymore, man. I know the hardcore fans still love you, but these weirdos on Twitter that they're desperate to appease and make their new fans, they don't like this kind of art that you draw. Okay? They don't like it. The male gaze is wrong. Can't have that in comic books anymore. So, I don't know if you're watching this video, if you'll ever see it, but if you want my advice, go independent, brother. Go independent and do your own thing. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments below. Also, if you would please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that and subscribe if you're new.